Hello. So I've been talking about the challenges Nigeria has been facing, but I'm still talking about living for God every day. I'm just bringing the aspect of our country into it for those that are Nigerians. It's something that is important, and that's also something that God wants to make better, but it can only happen through us. And today is going to be interesting, and I believe it's going to help us if we apply it. So stay tuned and provide your own solutions on how you can make Nigeria better. It's possible. Through the help of God, it's possible. So, today I'm going to be talking about our political structure in Nigeria. That's one aspect that's really affected us, our democracy. So, it's going to be something that will shed more light into how we can maximize the kind of government that we are currently practicing. Democracy. Democracy is a good thing when practiced correctly. But when practiced incorrectly, it's a disease. In Nigeria, we're currently running a democratical system of government, but yet we're not really seeing the fruits of what we're doing. It shows that there are problems with our democracy in Nigeria, and I will highlight some of the reasons why our democracy in Nigeria has so many issues. When you look at the level of illiteracy in Nigeria, Nigeria probably has one of the highest literacy level in the whole world. A lot of illiterate, uneducated people who have very rudimentary academic achievements. Some may never have gone to school, except for informal education. So the level of illiteracy is high. The level of those that don't go to school is on the high side. A lot of people in Nigeria did not pass through school adequately. So that's one of the issues to our democracy. And I'm going to get to the end to show you why this is a big issue. Also, you look at the level of poverty. Poverty is high in Nigeria. When you look at the statistics, Nigeria has one of the highest poverty rates in the whole world. The poverty in Nigeria is also linked to literacy. So a lot of economic measures have been put in place and policies that will help cut poverty. So the level of poverty in Nigeria is high. They also look at the cultural diversity, ethnic differences. A lot of ethnic groups in Nigeria, which is also good. There's diversity, but then there's also conflict. So ethnic groups have issues, and they also create sentiments. Someone is from here, someone is not from here, and so people from a particular zone want to support their own. So it creates another issue. Then look at the religious dichotomy. It's also another issue. We see the level of Christianity, Islam in Nigeria, and then the clashes that have happened over time. That's another issue that makes our democracy at risk. Then also the political structure, the complexity in our political system. You look at the political parties, different kinds of ideologies, and then look at the political class. You look at the traditional rulers who are also important in Nigeria, and other factors. So there are different things that come together to affect our democracy, and all these five things I've pointed out has made democracy in Nigeria difficult to practice. The kind of democracy we are practicing, difficult to practice. Democracy is supposed to be beautiful, but when there are internal challenges within the system, it makes it difficult to be beautiful. So this is actually to help us. What I'm going to be saying after now is to enable us to be able to perfect the kind of democracy we ought to have. So I said democracy is a good thing when practiced properly. So when you look at all the things, all the considerations, the illiteracy, poverty level, religious dichotomy, traditional issues, the ethnic diversities, and then the complex political structure practiced in Nigeria, you see that the electoral process is threatened because there are a lot of things involved which can disrupt a proper system, a proper electoral system. The elections can be manipulated, bribes can be taken, people may want to incline themselves just because of maybe ethnic affiliations or religious affiliations to a particular person. So the system is easily manipulated by those who know how to manipulate it. People may vote for someone not because of his capacity, but because they can benefit a little from that person from a bribe or from ethnic affiliations, and not from capacity. We have seen how Nigeria elections have been over time, billions spent during that period, but yet the leaders produced are not worse all that time. You see, people spend their time, use energy just to vote in someone that is not even the right person to come in. And when you look at the considerations I brought up earlier, you see that those affect the electoral system, they affect the electoral process. It's easily manipulated. When you give all the power to vote in very important people, the powerful people in society, in quotes, when you give all that power to the masses who have all these disadvantages that I already mentioned, what do you expect? You give them the power to vote and bring in the leader. Despite all the internal challenges we face, then this process is manipulated and then we produce the wrong leaders. And we have seen how many leaders have been produced with this same system of government. And I think it's high time we change it. I'm not saying we eradicate democracy, but let's make our democracy better. You can't be doing something over and over and again and it's producing the same result and expect it to change next time. You have to change it. You have to change the system. And it's that system that we are looking towards changing now. Let's think about how we can make Nigeria better. The leaders have a very important role in that process because they dictate how the country is run. And in that way, others can easily follow. You should start from the head and go to the bottom. So we have to correct this wrong mentality of electing the wrong people because of some benefits or affiliations. It's time to start electing people based on their capacities and abilities. Think about a system where people are elected based on track record and not based on the fact that they are popular, but because they have the capacity to help in making the country better. So our political structure needs to be changed. It's time for us to start abolishing some things, changing some system of government, and starting the right system of government. The system of government I'm advocating right now, the system of government that is transparent, systemized, and that can produce the right leaders. It's a system where the right constitutions will be put in place, in which the masses will also be part of the system. So there will still be a level of voting, but voting will not be the only aspect to enable a person emerge as a winner of an election. That won't be the only aspect. There will be other considerations, and in that consideration, it all boils down to the capacity, the ability of the person to be able to rule, to be able to govern the country. And this is not only for the presidency. It applies to all political positions, all elected political positions, and even the appointed ones. You look at the educational qualification, their level of integrity, the level of management of resources, and their own track record, things they've achieved in the past. There are other considerations, their health record as well. Are they educationally qualified? Have they finished their tertiary education to be able to be enlightened enough to be able to run this complex country? So when you look at all these things and more, there will be a system that will be put in place. People can also voice out their own options, voice out who they want. And when it's put against the system and everything put together, if the person is the right candidate, the person can emerge. These are important considerations we now have to put in place. So it won't be only just about voting, but then all these considerations will be put in place in electing or appointing leaders. Not because people voted for them alone, no, but because they actually deserve to be there. Federal government level, at both the state government level, local government level, all levels, more appointed leaders, all of them have to pass all the considerations. A system that will be put in place And we're in the digital world. We can set up a system like that. So those people that want to emerge as leaders will send in their proposals, their offers, and then this system will consider to look at their records. Are they really qualified? And this process is going to be supervised by a committee. A committee should supervise this process, but then it's don't be like INEC. It's just be a committee of people of integrity, people that can actually oversee the system, and a system that will be incorruptible, something that will be transparent for people to see, so a wrong leader cannot easily emerge. We have the chance to see these details. We would have that chance if it emerges to see who should be the right leader. We will have the chance to evaluate carefully. As much as the system is going to evaluate, we also see carefully, so that we'll see that this is a fair system that will choose based on the capacity and the abilities of an individual, and not because of popularity. That's the thing that I believe Nigeria should work into. Let's stop focusing on just our sentiments, but let's focus on what will help this country be better. Proverbs 29:2 says, "When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked man rules, the people groan." We have the chance to elect the righteous people, the people who can actually help make Nigeria better, but we have to change the system. We need to start looking into making this system work in Nigeria. A system that will not be based on just voting, but on actual capacity to rule the country, to lead the country, to govern the country. It's time we look into this. It's time for a change in Nigeria. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't. Thank you.